Hello traders, welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 292. Iliya here, you know the drill. We're gonna have a look at the markets, how they developed this week, what setups we had, and most importantly, what we can expect for the upcoming week. Now it is pretty much the end of July, so let's make sure to finish strong. Let's prepare ourselves for the week ahead. Well, just looking at the economic calendar, I just told you, let's finish June strong. Well, June is pretty much done, right? We have pretty much one day of June here on Monday, and we have some Euro news, and then we're immediately transferring into July. Now, on the 1st of July here, we are having some ECB speeches here. So the ECB is going to speak a lot, Lagarde here. So we can potentially have some volume on the Euro, but the Euro really expanded this week. So let's see what we're going to get this week. Mr. Powell, so you can see all the central bank presidents here are speaking. So Tuesday is going to be a very interesting day. And then also here we're having the PMIs and job openings. So Tuesday looks like an incredible day to be trading. Wednesday we have this preliminary NFP, and then on Thursday is actually when we have NFP, because Friday is July 4th, so bank holiday. And yeah, so pretty much it looks like a pretty straightforward week. Mondays, I do not trade on Mondays. I do trade futures on Mondays sometimes. Okay, Forex I do not. And then pretty much my main focus goes Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's it, simplifying the plan as much as possible. And then of course on Friday we have a bank holiday, so it's definitely going to be off. So Thursday is going to be pretty nice because we have NFP. So with that being said, let's jump into the charts. Before we get started, make sure to join my free school community. It's an absolutely incredible, positive community with a lot of value from everybody. And the classroom here is a full course that I've never shared anywhere. So make sure to join. It's the first link in the description. All right, so let's get started with the DXY as usual. So I'm going to once again reverse engineer from my outlook on the previous Saturday to see how the market played out. But let us just be a little bit more flexible. So I'm going to start from the monthly time frame because the monthly candle again is going to close in 2 days. A pretty nice expansive candle lower. We are getting into territories that we haven't been in 2022. Incredible bearishness here for the dollar. Trump is really pretty much ruining the dollar since the tariffs. Right now, lots of conflicts between Trump and the Fed chair, Mr. Powell. So Trump says that he's going to be looking for an immediate replacement of Powell, but of course, Powell is going to be stepping back in 2026, I believe May 2026. But of course, because Trump said this week, Powell is a very stupid person. He should be cutting the rates. And this, of course, was met with a lot of negativity, okay? Because Trump is again trying to influence the Fed, which is supposed to be autonomous thing, right? So not being influenced by anything else apart from looking at the data. So pretty crazy, very crazy price action. You can see here I had, as usual, a lot of scenarios. The market opened up with a gap up, so we pulled back a little bit. We didn't fill the gap, but we gave a little bit of a pullback, and then the market attacked my expected liquidity here. And now again, as I keep telling you, it's all about the flow, okay? I can forecast very short-term moves. I do this every single day. This is how I trade, okay? So we did forecast, for example, that move up, but then of course, what really matters is whether the market is gonna start closing above, making imbalances above that level to potentially go long. But we kind of took it out, we swept it, and then just 4 hours later, the market just absolutely plummeted, creating massive hourly bearish imbalances. And then since then it was bearish. Where to? Well, towards the next target. You can see here, right? We have this low that the market attacked, and then of course all the rest of the lows also went. So deleting everything, what is the state right now? Weekly time frame, a pretty nice bearish candle. Now I'm not gonna be zooming out way too much to the left. Like, I don't think I'm gonna start drawing like support and resistance levels from 2022. Although the market does have memory, I think I'm just gonna focus on what is happening right now. The daily time frame right now is gonna be extremely important because we're having daily imbalances being created pretty much almost every single day. Like, there is one here, and then there is also kind of one here with a little bit of a gap. And there we have one here as well with a gap. And then also like this as well is an imbalance. Like, every kind of single day we gap down, creating these gaps. So it's even tricky to draw the imbalances, right? You can see here we have like 2 imbalances that are overlapping, which usually should not happen like that. But generally what I'm going to be looking for is for the market to give me a pullback into this level, which is also aligning with that liquidity that was taken to the left. And this whole thing again turns into a very big supply level. And then if I drop to the quality time frame, you can see how we ended up the week pretty much here. Thursday and Friday didn't do anything, and I tried to pull back, tried to go lower, tried to go higher, tries to go lower. So again, like we have a very clear liquidity here at the bottom, which could definitely get taken. My preferred way of the market playing out is going to be a bullish opening, tapping us into these daily imbalances, potentially even filling that gap, and then from there getting the bearish pressure to be shorting towards the liquidity. That will be my ideal outlook, okay? But as I always tell you guys, if you've been watching my outlooks, you know that I don't do a lot of these forecasts because I have been in the market for 6 years right now, and I truly understand what trading is all about. It's not about forecasting. It's not about like trying to guess very hard where the market's going to go. You're going to do this for 3 to 4 years, and suddenly you're going to realize that this is really not how it works. How it actually works is just showing up every single day and reading the market and what it tells you, because we are nobody to be telling the market is going to go here and is going to go short from here. We don't know. We have no idea. Okay, so always be prepared for everything, because again, the market can open up bearish, it can take out the liquidity, it can sweep the liquidity, and then it can start bringing us towards the daily imbalances. Okay, that could be the second scenario. But again, I'm very short bias on the dollar. If the market pulls back into these daily imbalances, I will definitely be looking for the shorts. But if the market opens bearish, then of course I will be monitoring, is it closing strongly below with an imbalance? Okay, so I can continue shorting it. All right, or is it going to start sweeping to take us back into that daily imbalance here? And then from there, we just have to wait and see what is going to happen. So again, preferring the shorts, preferring the pullback, but I'm going to be aware of all the potential scenarios that could be happening. All right, so reverse engineering EU from my latest outlook, I had kind of two situations here. Because the market was already starting to provide us a lot of bullish signs here. It was closing above that swing point. It had a quality bullish imbalance. It was coming from a daily bullish. I was pretty bullish on that market. However, again, like I gave you the two scenarios, we can either go for the liquidity at the lows, right, and maybe continue going lower, or of course we can pull back and start expanding higher and then take longs. Now you can see the market kind of opened up with a crazy gap. This is a crazy gap, right? It literally closed here and it opened down there. That is a pretty, no, sorry, that's wrong. It opened here. Okay, sorry. So it opened here, but then immediately it flushed. And then at that moment, you're like, okay, what's going on? And then the market actually pulled back to fill the gap. It offered a short, but that short did not follow through. And then after this candle here, so this candle is breaking the reaction out of that imbalance here, of that gap, okay? And this is pretty much signifying that the buyers are taking control, the sellers are failing, and then of course that immediately unlocks the liquidity targets, okay? We have that high, we have this high here, and the market took them all. So that was kind of the trade of the week. Unfortunately, it happened extremely fast. So I personally could not capitalize on that long. However, I had community members. I also did not take this one because it was an extremely choppy situation. I had members taking this long here, right, towards the major liquidity. Then the market consolidated, and then again, without any sort of zones, without any sort of clue, it just massively expanded again. And then pretty much we finished up with 2 days of a chop. So this was our trade of the week for the community. And then this long here, we could not capitalize on it because by the time the market just showed us the bullishness, it just immediately popped higher. But again, not bad price action. It's extremely impulsive. Very nice weekly candle right here. I'm not going to go to look at 2021 price action because I can start drawing like liquidity levels and stuff, but I wouldn't really do that. And then right now we're dropping onto the daily time frame, which again is going to be the very key time frame right now on EU, is because we are having all of these daily bullish imbalances that I would just look for the market to pull back into either of them. I don't care which one, preferably the first ones, pull back into them. We have, of course, this zone here. That is the whole sell to buy. That also is going to act as support. So literally what I want to see is a pullback into these areas and a continuation higher. Because we have been bullish for quite a couple of days right now. So that is 6 bars being consecutively bullish. We're probably going to have a pullback. And again, how do we know if we're going to have a pullback? Well, do you have something on the quality to potentially push you up? No. We don't have quality imbalances. The market ended up the week by sweeping the liquidity on the top here, giving us a very nice rejection. So again, I would definitely love for the market to pull me back into that imbalance, into the lower one. I don't care, but pull back, start printing the bullish structure, and then target the liquidity. That will be my absolute ideal scenario. But again, I am nobody to say that the market is going to do this. I don't know. Nobody knows. The market can open up with a gap up there, and then what do? Well, you have to flow, right? And of course, it can develop in numerous ways. It can just open, it can pop the liquidity, similar to the DXY. It can pop the liquidity, and then it can still reject and start bringing us into the daily imbalance. I, however, think that the market could be due for a pullback because we've expanded very nicely, especially on the daily time frame. Okay, so I truly believe that we could be having 1 or 2 bearish days to pull us back into these daily imbalances, and then potentially have 1 or 2 bullish days. So hopefully Monday, that would be the ideal situation. Monday pulls us back into the daily imbalances, start setting up, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday expand higher. That would be the ideal week, but of course, let's see how it plays out. Now, GU getting into the on Monday, like, it was very tricky. Like, if you remember, I was kind of confused on it. It had a weekly bullish imbalance, it had a daily bearish imbalance, it had hourly bullish, but at the same time it was also printing a hourly bearish. So what I remember I told you there, let's just wait, let's see where it's gonna guide us. And again, you can see the first thing that the market did is it continued with the bearish imbalances, and it printed that one here. So this one was a beautiful short into the liquidity. Okay, so beautiful. Now again, I again forecasted, but again, I'm nobody to forecast. So again, I said, okay, let's pull back into that hourly zone. You don't know where the market's gonna pull back, right? What the market did, it opened, boom, imbalance. Then we have a new imbalance, so we have to flow. Then the market pulls back into it and attacks the liquidity. Beautiful short. And then of course, what you do after the liquidity is taken, well, do we have any new imbalances? Does the market really want to follow through? No, it swept it and it just absolutely exploded like crazy. And when it actually exploded like crazy, it also broke that reaction from the daily imbalance. Okay, that to me confirmed that the market is turning bullish. But then again, like, what really sucked on GU is that it just kept printing imbalance, right? Without any sort of pullback. It pulled back here, but then it started chopping, and then again, it didn't pull back into a daily, and then again, it just massively expanded. This was a very strange price action because we have been chopping here since that last daily bullish imbalance we made, and when we failed it, we have been chopping for 23 days. So for 17 bars, for 17 daily candles, we chopped up, okay? And just for 2 days, for 2 candles, we engulfed that whole thing. Okay, so that was a very inefficient kind of price action. Okay, just something happened and the market just absolutely rocketed. Okay, I couldn't manage to take any GU longs, unfortunately. Like, again, on the daily time frame, for example, it made that daily zone, no pullback. It made another daily zone, no pullback. Okay, if you also have a look at the hourly time frame, also it was making hourly zones, no pullback. Okay, and I always want to be looking for a pullback. Here it just expanded, nothing, chopped for a little bit, and then again the market opens and then just boom, expanded again. So very crazy price action here, but extremely bullish, weekly candle, super bullish. Let's see if it's gonna follow through. I really do like the weekly candle very strongly closing above that swing point. Now keep in mind, we're gonna be opening a new monthly candle, and the monthly candle can definitely start opening bearish to create the monthly candle wick, because if you study the monthly candles, apart from that one, they're usually gonna be making a wick to the downside. Okay, so as we're having right now, or in a bearish scenario, it's gonna make wicks to the upside. Okay, so I would expect for the market to open up bearish and then to potentially start expanding higher if it's gonna continue higher, because also we have had right now 4 months, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in fact, 5 months of bullish candles. So are we gonna have a bearish one? Well, this is outside of our control. As long as the market keeps popping higher, we keep popping higher with it. Now again, my plan is to very simply, oh, actually it made another one, is to very simply wait for a daily pullback. Okay, I don't want to long it that high. I just want to wait for the market to pull me back into some of these daily zones. Okay, and then to see if it's going to continue towards the next liquidity objective that at this time is going to be that high. Okay, and again, guys, just be open-minded. Something could happen over the weekend, and this and that, and the market just could massively start crashing lower. Always be vigilant, always be watching price, and never throw any expectations, because again, if you have expectations over the market, that could be your very big downfall as a trader. Okay, So that's GU. I am remaining pretty long bias. I don't see kind of any bearishness. It's pure bullishness. So I would be looking for a pullback into these zones and then potential continuations. And again, the market could just decide to open, to gap up, and to really expand higher. Then of course, watch what happens above the liquidity. Is it going to start closing above the liquidity to continue for longs? Great. Or is it going to start sweeping them to continue for shorts? All right. You gotta watch for that as well. So let's see. Well, Aussie dollar here, pretty crazy V shape here. I mean, I was again a little bit bearish towards the liquidity, and then the market just gapped down and it just immediately rushed to the liquidity. But then again, did we get any sort of imbalances below that liquidity? No. Did we get any sort of lower highs? No. The market just pinged in it, and then it just absolutely reversed again, just consolidated, and then just absolutely rocketed again. Now, this is very similar to the rest of the pairs that we had. Just the thing with this pair is that it's just absolute crap. Right, like look at all of these weekly candles, and again, for example, this week one weekly candle is engulfing how many candles here? Like it's a lot of candles here. 7 weeks is engulfed by 1 week. This is crazy. But let's like just look at this. Like that's absolutely crazy. Now we also did take the liquidity on top here, which makes the market in a very bad positioning. It's not making a new daily imbalance here, either above the liquidity or close to it. We only have this here. So I just don't like this pair at all right now. I don't know how many of you guys are trading it watching this, but we have this daily imbalance all the way down. And if you also look at the hourly time frame, we don't have momentum into the upside. Like again, it looks like there is momentum, but is there an imbalance going higher? No. So this to me is okay. It went up, cool, but I don't have a zone right now to trade from. So again, if I had something here, maybe I can say, okay, let's look for longs, but I don't have it. So honestly, right now on Aussie dollar, I don't have anything to work with. So here I just have to wait. Is it going to expand higher to break above and start offering new quality bullish imbalances to go long? Okay, great. Is it going to start pulling back into the daily and then reverse? Okay, great. But currently, exactly where it is, absolutely no information. There is nothing bearish to say, okay, we can go short. There is nothing bullish to say, okay, we can go long. Nothing. So again, Aussie dollar, absolutely choppy pair. It just took massive liquidity here. So I would be really careful trading this pair. Well, NZD dollar pretty much the same. Again, it was looking very nicely bearish. It got a lot of bearish order flow here. The market respecting the quality imbalances. We were getting very close to these 2 liquidity points. In fact, we even went here for a lot lower one. And again, so what I wanted to see is for the market to just give me a pullback and then flush. But yeah, it gapped down and it just flushed. Okay, so were you quick enough to catch? I don't know. And this is how I trade basically. Okay, I can forecast the overall daily move. I don't need, like, nobody can say the market's gonna open here, it's gonna take the liquidity and then it's gonna end here. Nobody can say that. All right, not ICT, nobody. Okay, you don't know. What you know is when the market is printing and what it's telling you. Because then what it told me, for example, is that, okay, we flushed, we took the liquidity, but did we start impulsing below the liquidity? Did we make any momentum, any imbalances below? No. And then what the market did, the first thing that it took the liquidity, boom, quality bullish imbalance. And then since then, it's been bullish. Okay, but of course, you cannot know that until you actually see it in price. Here, actually, we had a quality zone that the market pulled back into, so maybe not a bad long. And then right now it's kind of ending up a little bit chopped up. Let's see, what do we have? Do we have something on the weekly? No. Expansion candle, close to the liquidity level though, so it still has liquidity left while AU took it. Daily time frame similar to AU, it only has this imbalance that is very low. It's very low. I don't like imbalances that are way lower like that, because by the time the market gets to that daily imbalance, it's going to print a lot of bearish imbalances on a lower time frame, and that is going to make a lot of struggle areas. It's going to make it very hard for price to potentially go higher. And then if we go to the 40 time frame, also nothing. Like, it was a pretty choppy development here at the end of the week, from Thursday into Friday. So again, very similar to Aussie dollar. No zones apart from that daily zone. So again, what is it going to do? No idea. Is it going to open up and expand higher towards the liquidity? Okay, then are we going to stay above and continue, or are we going to sweep it and reverse? Is it going to open bearish to pull us back into the daily and then maybe from there look for something again, guys? I don't know. AU and NU, not the best pair, not interested. All right, so I'm not, let me type it down for next week. Okay, not interested in AU and NU. Oh, goddamn, that could have been wronger. All right, there we go. So that's it. Not amazing pairs. Oh, there we go. So let's go have a look at gold, which is probably better. Now, gold offered us a couple of wins this week, but they were very hard. The first win that we took was a long here on a Monday, right? We were actually targeting that high, but the market didn't reach it. But luckily, the take profit was taken. And then we just massively flushed. And then the next trade was a short somewhere. It was a short here on Thursday. We capitalized on that candle here because we were tapping into a daily imbalance. And then the market just flushed pretty much during Asian session on Friday. Again, you can see my outlooks again, like the market was pretty choppy. It looked a little bit more bullish. I wanted to see a pullback and an expansion above the liquidity and stay above to see if we're going to expand higher. What did we do? We actually did not even reach it. And then the market massively expanded below this liquidity point. But what did it do? It closed below it with imbalances. So that turns our buys into shorts. And not only that, but we had an absolutely beautiful daily imbalance. That hasn't happened on gold in a while. Since we had that daily bullish that failed, we have daily bearish right now. And guess what? This exposes this liquidity, and right now the next exposed liquidity is exactly this one. I really like Friday's candle. I would immediately say, well, let's wait for the market to form a daily imbalance on Monday pretty much. So we can have a daily imbalance here on Tuesday to potentially look to short into the lower liquidity. But knowing how volatile gold is right now, it can definitely just continue dropping. Unfortunately, we don't have any hourly zones. Like the hourly zone we have is all the way up here, which is pretty deep. So again, I really believe that the best scenario for gold will be to wait for Monday to play out, to wait to see if we're gonna have a daily bearish imbalance to be created on Monday, and then look for a pullback into it on Tuesday, and then short it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay. So that is going to be my plan, because if I had, for example, a hourly bearish here, I can already say, okay, I'm going to be looking for an early reversal. I mean, not reversal, but for an early continuation lower. But right now we don't have these zones. So the market is at a massive lower low. It's very close to the liquidity. Sure, it can definitely continue going lower. And guess what? Guess what? If it goes, I will be there to follow it. I will be there to follow it because I know how to read the lower time frames, but I also know how to read the higher time frames. If not, if the market starts opening a little bit bullish, I will be looking for that daily imbalance to be created, and then I'm going to be looking to shorting it on pretty much after Tuesday. Okay, so that is my plan on gold. It looks pretty bearish. It seems like money is going outside of gold. It seems like right now stocks are starting to climb a lot higher. We have SPY already at all-time highs, which is crazy. So it seems like gold, which is usually a risk off kind of thing, right? Like assets. I mean, it's a safe haven. Okay, money goes into gold when it's very uncertain. Right now, it's still extremely uncertain, but we're starting to see the stocks becoming a lot more positive, right? They're actually starting to climb. The S&P, NASDAQ reaching all-time highs. So we slowly start seeing money moving outside of gold. So this, to me, fundamentally gives me a little bit more bearishness. We can come back to revisit all of these liquidity lows and potentially like give a lot deeper pullback into even below that low here. So I'm forecasting a bit too much shorts on gold. I do believe that is definitely possible, but again, on the first signs for a long, I will be the first to long it. However, I do like the overall structure that it has been making, so let's see if that is going to continue. But yeah, I have two scenarios here for shorts. Of course, I'm always going to keep a long scenario if the market provides it, but for now, I'm going to stick one-sided and say I'm short on gold. Let's have a look at the USD/JPY, a very tricky instrument here. I mean, if you just look at this price chart here, having a massive move up and a massive move down, and then suddenly it starts like going higher. So as it looks bullish, then it suddenly looks bearish, and you're like, okay, what's going on? But then of course we can see the sellers actually prevailed. Now my outlook here was to get a little bit of a pullback towards the liquidity, but no, the market just gapped up and expanded quite a lot. And then just suddenly, again, it just took a massive V-turn, right? It just stopped in here and it just absolutely plummeted like crazy. There were a couple of shorts that we observed. One short was right here, and then the other one was pretty much here, but they developed during very choppy timings. So I'm not sure if my community member took any UJ shorts. So weekly candle, pretty nicely bearish. Overall consolidation on the weekly though. The monthly time frame is looking, it's also an inside bar inside the previous month, so we can be expecting maybe next month to start expanding. Daily time frame, unfortunately, we're not making any daily bearish imbalances. We just have one here actually. It's not bad, it's very small though. Let's think about liquidity. The last liquidity that has been taken is here, and then the next one that is going to be exposed is especially on the daily time frame, is going to be down there, so you can mark that out. And then of course in the meantime you're gonna have levels like that as well. That is gonna be a 4-hourly level that we can potentially reach for. But then zooming in to have a look on the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that the very last imbalance we had was here, and that imbalance was violated. So we broke the reaction, which makes it weak. Currently, nothing. I mean, we are in this sort of a corrective pullback. We don't have a daily imbalance that we're pulling back into. We have, for example, this sort of 4-hourly bearish imbalance that the market can come in. It's a little bit tricky to me, okay? I'm definitely not long biased because it has absolutely zero signs of longs, but it's also not giving me the short. So I mean, here in this case, I would just, if I was doing an analysis for my community, I would just say, guys, let's give it 4 or 8 hours or maybe just a day. Okay, let's see if it's gonna go up, tap into that, and then start printing bearish order flow. Let's see if it's gonna violate that and start printing bullishness to take us into the daily. Let's see if it's gonna start printing bearishness to take us into the liquidity, or let's see if it's just gonna continue chopping, because we don't know. Okay, that is exactly how I would tackle this pair if I was looking for it. For example, if the market was going live and this is how it was, this is what I would look for. So let's see. That is USD/JPY. Probably it's definitely going to be a lot more bearish because of the DXY. So if the DXY pulls back a little bit and starts giving shorts, USD/JPY tends to move very well with the DXY. So make sure if you're trading USD/JPY to also observe the DXY. But overall, short bias, I would say. I'm just not sure how it's gonna play out, so we gotta give it some time. All right, so Euro Yen, what I see I did here is I wanted to wait for a daily imbalance to be formed on Monday and then trade it on Tuesday, but the market didn't wait. It closed with a 4-hourly bullish imbalance. It opened up, it pulled back into it, and then it just, whoa, absolutely rocketed like crazy. And then this is why I don't trade JPY pairs, because 80% of the time, even 90%, they're going to be choppy. They're going to have periods where they go, but then they're going to have periods where they are absolutely choppy like crazy. So I really want to stop, honestly, analyzing these two because I don't touch them. I don't trade Aussie and NZD. I don't trade these two. If I could just keep it very simple, I would analyze DXY, EU, GU, Gold, USD/JPY, and then a little bit of indices. Would be a lot shorter, but of course I do it for you guys. So let's see what we have here. I'm gonna delete everything and then go to the weekly time frame. A very nice expansions, honestly, on the weekly recently. Again, it's coming after a crazy weekly consolidation here. Like, just look at all that price action, and right now we're starting to really create that inefficient price action where it's just absolutely rocketing without any sort of pullbacks. Again, another weekly imbalance has been created that gives us a lot of beautiful pullback points. But then again, like dropping onto the daily time frame, since Monday expanded, we had 4 choppy days, and all of these choppy days were maintained inside Monday's candle, guys. This is not good trading conditions. It actually did pull back. Oh, wait a second. It actually did make a Monday an imbalance on Monday, and it actually did pull back on Tuesday. Okay, I kind of have to take my words back right now. I'm sorry, Euro/JPY, but it actually made the daily imbalance exactly what I wanted, and it actually pulled back into it here, and it actually gave a long. So not bad. Okay, and then it actually ended up taking the liquidity. Okay. I take back my words because it actually did provide. Okay, now where are we? We just swept the daily liquidity and we're printing a 4-hourly bullish imbalance. If that 4-hourly imbalance fails, we can be going for the weekly. Okay, so let's see, is it gonna hold from that 4-hourly imbalance to continue higher? Is it going to fail that imbalance? Then we attack the liquidity. Okay, you have a lot of liquidity to attack. This one, and then eventually all the way down there, which is your weekly imbalance opening. Okay, so that is Euro/JPY right now. 4-hourly imbalance being tapped in. Let's see if it's gonna rocket on Monday, and then of course your next question will be, is it gonna stay above the liquidity and continue going higher? Or is it going to fail that 4-hourly imbalance? Because if that 4-hourly imbalance fails, then that is going to unlock the liquidity. And then after we take the liquidity, you also have to wait and see, is it going to close below and take us into the weekly? Or is it going to sweep it and start going higher again? Like, so many things can happen on this one. But I really do like it. It actually gave a long from here, then it made the daily imbalance, it pulled back into the daily imbalance, it gave a long from here, and then it pulled back into this here. And it also gave a pretty choppy long, but it still ended up playing out. So not bad delivery. Hopefully some of you capitalize on that. Let's see how it goes next week. I'm overall long bias. Let's see if GJ provided as EJ. So here, what did I do? I wanted to see a deeper pullback into the daily, or I just wanted to see the market to pull back and expand. Well, yeah, it actually did pull back and expand. And then it started making imbalances. It actually made an imbalance above the liquidity, which is great. So this shows me that the market is breaking. It's not sweeping. It pulled back into it. It spent 1,000 candles inside, expanded, and then it consolidated. So probably if you positioned yourself into a long here and you kept it for how many hours until it went for a day, if you kept it for a day, then you probably did good. Now on the weekly time frame, we're having an expansion candle, which is great. This is taking us towards the next liquidity target. On the daily time frame, do we have a daily imbalance created? We actually did, but we did not pull back into it. Is there one here? No. Yeah, it's an extremely tiny one, but I don't draw these. The market is currently very high. It's kind of keep making highs here, but it keeps sweeping the highs, which is never a good sign. And then if you drop to the 4-hourly time frame, it doesn't have any 4-hourly imbalances. It just ended up the week with a massive consolidation. So here again, guys, I cannot make any sort of forecasts. If it starts going lower to be taking the liquidity, then that can expose the daily imbalance. It can, of course, open higher to take the liquidity. Then is it going to sweep it to go lower, or is it going to break above it to go higher? These are kind of the things that I'm going to be looking at. I just don't like the positioning right now of this one being that high and starting to consolidate at the highs. I would really appreciate if the market actually pulls back to make a higher low, and then I will be trading towards clear liquidity targets for a higher high. Okay, so that is GJ. Not looking bad, but I do like EJ a lot more. It's kind of a little bit more structured. It's making some pullbacks. It's giving some good setups. So GJ to me, definitely not interested. All right, let's have a look at the state of the futures, starting with ES. Now we are pretty much getting very close to all-time highs. Now, of course, we do have still a little bit more space. If you look at the options, if you look at the SPY ETF, this one is already towards the all-time highs. Now, again, as I keep saying, I am not swing trading or even intraday trading in indices. I'm scalping them after the New York Stock Exchange opens. So what I do, any kind of top-down analysis I do, it's not very relevant. I am using the concepts that I use for Forex, especially in terms of liquidity and my zones, but the entries are very different. So unfortunately, the market really did move a lot, but I had a losing week and I was sitting break even for the month. But then this week actually makes my month on futures my first losing month in a while. Why? Well, because again, it's pretty normal, but since June opened up, we traded this. Okay, extremely small candles, no direction, no nothing, and then just again this week absolutely expanded like crazy. I did take a win. But then on the other day, I did take some losses as well. So it was a losing week, and not very happy, but it is what it is. You're gonna have losing months, you're gonna have losing weeks. Of course, what happens is how I come back in the next month, and I'm gonna be super transparent and super honest, right? I had a losing month, I had a winning month on Forex and gold, but I had a losing one on the futures. So massive daily imbalances here. Again, my main focus will be to get a pullback. Into these daily imbalances, and then potentially take some really good longs. Pretty crazy Friday candle here. I mean, absolutely rocketed lower. I took a couple of stop losses, not a couple. I took one stop loss and then one break even trying to long it here. It chopped around for an hour and then suddenly it went. Not amazing, right? And then again, like when I look to be trading, for example, the market makes that, and when I look to start trading, it just started chopping, right? Very big chop right there. Here as well, pretty big chop, and then it ended up expanding. Very tricky for me to trade this month overall. But yeah, I'm gonna be looking for a pullback into these daily imbalances. If I drop to the 4-hourly time frame, there is nothing. I mean, the market did tap into that 4-hourly zone, and it very crazily rejected from it. Also pulling us back right now into a 1-hourly zone. But again, for futures, I am just allowing them to play out. I wait for London to, I wait for Asia to pass. I wait for London to pass. I wait for pre-market like 8:30 to go, and I just show up usually at 10 a.m. Eastern, and that is when I am trading. Okay, so any kind of forecast I do from now on, it's definitely not going to be relevant, because by the time the market opens, it would have changed everything. But again, I will be looking for pullbacks into the daily. These are also some kind of good opportunities to maybe put a little bit more into stocks if you're investing as well, especially the S&P index, because a lot of the stocks are already at all-time highs, like Nvidia, Palantir, Microsoft. A lot of them are climbing like crazy. Some of them are lagging, like Apple. But yeah, looking for pullbacks into the daily and then potential longs. The bias is longs. We're getting very close to all-time highs, so in case something again happens in the world, Trump, Israel, Fed, everything that is going on right now, we could be continuing to go higher. Well, looking at NQ again, like just on the brink of taking out all-time highs. Weekly time frame again, after quite a couple of choppy weeks, we're finally expanding like crazy, which is great. We can be looking for a weekly imbalance to be created right now after the first week print. And a very nice week. Very nice week if you study it. However, like the majority of the moves, a lot of the days happened during Asia and London. So you see a very big candle, but kind of when it actually came time to trade, it was kind of a little bit too late. But here again, we're very close to the all-time highs. The market can just go in and ping all-time highs and then maybe start retracing. I would definitely love if the market makes a retracement first. So again, into these daily imbalances, and then from there, I'll start guiding us higher. But again, apart from that, there is nothing much I can mention, okay? Like we have this 1 hourly zone here as well. We're coming from a 4-hourly zone that was right there. So what is going to happen? Are we going to overtake that 1-hourly zone and just get us very fast towards all-time highs? Definitely possible, because we are closer to the all-time highs, are we? 130, then we are to the daily 140, right? So I mean, yeah, it's 10 points, so not a big deal, but we're kind of very close to all-time highs instead of pulling back. But let's see, I would definitely love for us to pull back, because then we're gonna have some good time trying to long them into the all-time highs. YM is also starting to pick up a very nice bullish month here. We are finally failing that monthly bearish imbalance, because candle 1 came in and reacted, but right now candle 2 is starting to break above it, which is a failure of an imbalance. Weekly time frame also very nice expansion after 5 weeks here of a pretty big chop. So we are looking already for the weekly bullish imbalance to be created after this week closes, after the incoming week closes. Finally, again, the market is starting to print some daily imbalances, giving us some really good zones to be looking for longs. And again, like very similar outlook here. I will be looking for a pullback into these daily zones and trying to take a long. There is a very recent liquidity here that we can be looking to target. On the daily, it's exactly the same. 4-hourly time frame pretty strong though. Like, look at that. Just pulls back into that imbalance, and then it's already starting to rocket here towards the power hour. The futures market closure. So let's see again, like I'm going to be looking for these daily sort of pullbacks. Now the last daily candle on the indices expanded a lot. No, that's a lie. This one didn't expand. That one didn't expand a lot. Like, yeah, just this one expanded a lot. So we can even be looking for a new daily imbalance to be created on Monday, and then look to be longing here, for example, on Tuesday. If it makes a new daily imbalance, then we can be looking for a shallower pullback and then continuing to long. But again, the bias is absolutely longs, guys, on the indices. They are finally starting to pick up. So hopefully right now, a lot of sellers are starting to cover. A lot of sellers are exiting. The buyers are getting a lot more confidence, which is why I really think the indices could potentially continue going higher. But again, who am I to tell this? I'm just gonna follow the market and what it tells me. So again, bullish bias on the indices. Having a quick look at DAX, I mean, at the opening here, it was pretty tricky. It kind of was forming a 4-hourly bearish imbalance, then it pulled back into it, but then it came into the bullish one. And yeah, then it just reversed, right? It showed you what it wanted to do. And did it print a daily zone? Well, it printed a gap, which is also pretty good. It printed a gap, it pulled back into it. And right now, again, it usually tends to follow the US indices. It is starting to rocket like crazy. The last daily candle is very nice. So I would say immediately wait for a daily imbalance right now to be formed and then trade it on Tuesday. Okay, wait for Monday to form the bullish imbalance, then look for pullbacks. But of course, in the meantime, if the market really picks up the steam, you have this hourly bullish imbalance that the market can pull back into, okay, and continue. If not, we can be looking for the daily and then also continue higher. I mean, it's probably without a question that this market is bullish because it's also starting to pick up from the sentiment of the US indices. A lot of confidence and kind of risk on is starting to appear. We're definitely in the risk on environment, which means bearish DXY and bullish majors, bullish crosses, and bullish indices and stocks. Okay, so that's DAX, also very bullish. We have a daily zone in creation, and we have currently a hourly zone that can also push price higher. Let's see how are we gonna go higher. All right, Fanatics, as a quick recap here, again, we're having a lot of clarity right now on the DXY. It's absolutely flushing. It's fundamentally very weak. And I will be looking for pullbacks this week on the DXY to pull us back into these daily zones and then to potentially continue shorting. It's exactly the same with EU and GU. We have a lot of daily imbalances that I definitely want to see the market pulled back into in order to go long. GU is the same. Aussie dollar and NZD dollar are not my favorite pairs right now. They don't kind of have any clear zones. They have a daily zone, but that daily zone is very far away. So are we going to trade short into it or are we going to go long without it? We don't know. Gold is also looking very bearish right now. It has been bearish here for a while, although very uncertain. It was very uncertain in this period right there. It kept sweeping. It tried to break higher. It failed, and it tried again. It failed. And then when the buyers finally gave up, we had the sell side imbalance here, and then we still had another lower low. We are starting to unlock a lot of liquidity points. This is the next one, and then of course all the way down there. I will be looking for a daily imbalance to be formed on Monday, and then hopefully Tuesday until Thursday, we can be looking to trade it short. USD/JPY is also not bad. It's pretty short bias here, but just the fact it doesn't have any zones to work with makes it a little bit bad. So I have given a lot of scenarios here. Make sure to watch my full analysis as well, but I would literally wait for a day on this one to show me what it wants to do, get some more context, get some more zones, and then I'm gonna start touching it. Euro/JPY hasn't been very bad. It has been going up very nicely, pulling back into daily, following through. Right now we have that forward imbalance, but if that forward imbalance fails, that is going to potentially unlock these liquidity points, and we can potentially pull back as well into a weekly imbalance, which is also going to be great because then we're going to have a lot of space to go long. GJ, I don't like it. It's very similar to EJ, but it doesn't have that weekly imbalance. It's having like that daily that is not retested, so I am not loving it. Indices as well, risk on perspective, they're climbing like crazy. I am looking for daily imbalances potentially. Okay, any sort of bearish day that we have right now should potentially be looking for a long opportunity. So let's see, because again, when the market really starts expanding like that, there you go, bullish day shorted, bullish day shorted, bullish day shorted, bullish day shorted, right? If the market is really going to turn like that, any sort of opposing candle in a massive trend like that potentially means that either the same day or the next day could be expanding. So I'm going to be looking for any sort of pullbacks and then continuing to long the market. So that's from me, everybody. I hope you traded well this week. Hope you also are finishing the month in profits, hopefully, and happy with your performance. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts, what are the pairs that you're looking at. Let me know how you performed this week, any struggles that you're having. Let me know. I hope you enjoyed this outlook, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.